In this case study, I am going to talk you through the exact things that we are currently doing with one of our members, Geeta, for her to have achieved this 12 kilo change in body weight so far using the Affinity program and the methods that we implement and instill within our members on their journey. Geeta's still within the program and still wants to achieve more than she has, but a short 2.5 months in, and this is where we are at, 12 kilos down on the scales. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight into where Geeta was and a little bit more about her. So Geeta just turned 40 and she was ready to make this decade her healthiest yet. She's a mum of 2 and she wants to set the best example for her kids. She works full time, she's juggling a career, family, and all of that in between. Now, she loves her traditional food, but doesn't want to give it up to lose weight. Her social life is busy and she wants a program, or she wanted a program that would fit around events, not one that restricts them. She also wanted to lose weight, but more importantly, keep it off for life. This is the last time in her life that she ever wants to worry about losing weight, keeping it off. Don't want to spend years yo-yoing, losing and gaining the same 5, 10, 15 kilos as most people do. Now, her big goal, in her own words, is win the lottery, travel around the world, but jokes aside, to be mentally and physically healthy, enjoying life and making memories with her family. And that's what it's all about, living a life without any restriction and any limits, and knowing that you can do what you want, when you want, and not be restricted by your body, for example. Now, where was Geeta? So she was stuck in a yo-yo cycle, losing weight, gaining it back, repeat that cycle. She was fed up, frustrated, constantly feeling like nothing worked. Now, she also felt a former of her former self. 10 years ago, after having kids, she's barely recognized herself. She's given everything to her family, but now it was time for her to focus on herself for a little bit, okay? The big thing that I see with a lot of people, and Geeta alike, was just overwhelmed by conflicting advice, right? You've got access to the internet, Facebook, Instagram, Google, and everyone's telling you different things to focus on, and then when you try and implement all of those things, it leaves you overwhelmed, okay? Another thing that she'd worried about is endless workouts. Seeing these things online, transformations, other companies, it leaves you kind of feeling like, am I going to have the time for this? Am I going to be able to sacrifice all of these hours in the week away from work, away from family, away from household chores, away from my me time to then spend hours in the gym working out? And she didn't, okay? And she was also getting to a point where I see a lot of people do this, is they start to accept that this is just how life is going to be, you know? I'm meant to be the out of shape one. I'm meant to be in this position. And I'll tell you something now. You do not have to accept your fate. There is definitely a way out. We've helped hundreds and hundreds of people do it. You definitely don't have to accept your fate. Now, where is Geeta now? So 2.5 months in, we are 12 kilos down. This is a quote taken from her when she was only 2 months into the program, and it was 2 months in, 10 kilos down. Wow, I am super happy with the results. Didn't think this would happen this fast. My clothes are loose. I need to go shopping for smaller sizes. Okay, now she's motivated and confident. No more second guessing. The noise is done. She knows exactly what she needs to focus on to get the results that she wants. She has a can-do mindset. There's no more, I can't do this, I don't have time for this. She knows that she can do whatever she puts her mind to. And she knows exactly what works. There's no confusion. Finally, she's starting to feel like herself again. Stronger, healthier, more empowered than ever. Now, these were the initial targets. 1,500 calories, 80 to 100 grams of protein. She's a vegetarian, and training is 3 times a week, 20-minute sessions at home. And we initially set her step target around the 8 to 10,000 step mark, okay? Now, these are just initial targets. Don't give much context over here, okay? Her weight loss graph. So this was taken most recently. She started at the 80 mark. Currently, we are coming up to the middle of March, and she is at 67.9 kilos. So a total of 12.1 kilos lost so far within about a 2.5 month period. This is the result so far. As you can see, she's looking noticeably leaner. Love handles are coming in, and even the side-by-side view, you can see that the stomach is coming in as well. So really, really good results so far within the program. Now, the Affinity Takeoff method is what we used with her. And the Affinity Takeoff method is built around the individuals that we work with. So I gave you those initial targets, but what most people struggle with is How do I implement those targets and fit them into my personal, unique, busy lifestyle and make them work? Because look, anyone can tell you, eat 1,500 calories, do this much protein, do this much workout, get this many steps, but without any context, okay? So what we do at Affinity is we give everyone a nutritional audit. So it's not just a meal plan. We want to take a look at what you're doing and how can we improve that? How can we make the meals better? How can we make them healthier? How can we give some room for some of the stuff that you love, but also gear it towards your goals? So that's what we did. We took a look at what her day-to-day was and then built a meal guide around that to her preferences. Protein. We set a realistic and achievable target. Okay, a big thing is these unrealistic protein targets that are set by bodybuilders, people that are super into their fitness, given to just regular people. Okay, and it can seem really unachievable. And look, no one wants to be just eating corn sausages, Linda McCartney sausages, and protein all day long. Okay, so we again set her some achievable targets around this. With training, we built it around her schedule. So one of the first things that we did with her is sit her down and say, right, what is realistic for you right now with the way that your schedule is? And for her, a starting point was 3 20-minute sessions per week. May seem like nothing, but going from doing absolutely nothing to doing 3 20-minute sessions a week is going to get you some results. Something is always better than nothing. Total daily step counts. Again, some people just throw them out to people. Okay, you would have seen it in the internet. How many steps do I need to take? 10K. Okay, we built her step count based on where she is now, and then we added a little bit to it just to push her to something. At the end of the day, you're in here to be held to a higher standard. So we'll meet you where you're at, figure out what you're doing with ease, and then give you something to focus on so it actually feels like you're doing some work, because that's what it's about. Finally, accountability. Okay, checking in. This program isn't just, here's your training, here's your nutrition, bye-bye, I'll speak to you in a month. You will get continual support throughout. Whether that's through our daily communications on WhatsApp, through your weekly feedback sessions, or calls that we organize with you at intervals throughout the coaching process. We are always at arm's length to give you guidance when and where you need it. This is an example of her training sessions. So these were split up into 4-minute blocks of work. So actually 16 minutes, and then you add a bit of a warm-up in, which I haven't shown over here, and it equates to 20 minutes. Please, if you're watching this, feel free to take a snapshot of it and have a go yourself. But that's how her training looked. This is an example of her nutrition plan as well, so please feel free to take a snapshot of it. She was eating around the 1,500 mark to start with. As you can see, a total of 80 grams of protein, 90 grams on this particular day. But this was all based off the stuff that she said she would eat. So she'd have some yogurt and some berries in the morning already with some almonds. Lunch was usually a sandwich, and in the evening, some form of traditional Gujarati food. And we made that all work for her with the correct quantities and things that she needed to meet her goals. Now, this is Geeta's food in pictures. So as you can see, we've got the granola in the morning with the yogurt. We've got a lunch as a jacket potato on this particular occasion, and then some traditional food in the evening. Salad with some chapatis and some dal, kadhi, something like that. Now, what was her initial hesitations? So her initial hesitations coming into the program was she felt guilty spending money on herself. You know, you've always prioritized family expenses over your own. So you're going to feel a little bit of resistance to finally doing this thing for yourself. She was worried it wouldn't work. You know, you've tried so many things before. She was scared of just wasting time and money again. She thought she'd be able to do it alone. How many times have you told yourself, I'm going to try for myself for a bit and see how I get on, okay? And then trying for yourself never really happens. Monday comes round, you don't really start, or you get to the middle of the week and you sack it off. Okay, she struggled to justify the cost. Okay, is it really worth paying someone to help me get in shape? You do it with other things. Your kids' tuition. You could sit there with them in the evening and go through the books with them, but you pay a professional to help you with it. Plumbing issues. You could go onto YouTube and look at how to fix a toilet, but you pay a plumber. Okay, so this is outsourcing where you need to, and coming to a realization that if you're in a position where you aren't getting anywhere with it, or it's taking longer than you want it to take, get in some help. Be guided to get to your goals faster, with more clarity and more structure. She feared failing, okay? Investing means committing. and then actually having to see things through. And she feared that she'd fail again. And what if she didn't see results? What she realized after taking the leap a few months in, best investment was in herself, okay? Because when she felt her best, her family benefited, okay? She wasn't alone anymore. Having expert guidance made everything easier. So that thought of, I'm just going to try by myself, well, look, you've got someone in your corner now telling you exactly what to do, how to do it, and pulling you out when you're demotivated, okay? She stopped second guessing. There was no more, should I follow this, should I do this, should I do that? It's, this is what you need to do, this is how much of it you need to do it, and this is how it's going to fit your lifestyle, okay? The return on the investment was priceless. More energy, more confidence, a healthier body, a happier person to be around. She wished she'd done it sooner. I can't believe I hesitated. This is the best thing I've done for myself in years. Those were her initial hesitations and how she overcame them. In Geeta's words, 2 months in, this is exactly what she said. Just about to message you the same thing. 2 months into the program, 10 kilos down. I'm super happy with the results. Didn't think it could happen this fast. My clothes are feeling so much looser and I need to go shopping for smaller sizes. Definitely on to the next 10 kilos. Can't thank you enough for your support and guidance and encouragement. Couldn't have achieved this without you. That's a case study on how Geeta has gotten the results that she has so far. And that concludes that training. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you take something away from that and go away and implement it. And please do let me know. My QR code is on the screen, which redirects back to my Instagram inbox, or if you're already on your mobile phone, you can redirect yourself back there. Let me know how you got on with the training. Let me know your thoughts on it. Your feedback is much appreciated. Also, if you want to know how you could potentially drop up to 10 kilos within the next 90 days, please feel free to drop me a message on Instagram and I'd be happy to talk to you about the exact steps that you need to take to drop 10 kilos in the next 90 days. Thank you for watching and I hope to speak to you very, very soon. Bye now.